Namaskaram everyone. Welcome all of you to the Yogaveera training. We are expecting a few more people to join. We'll begin the session shortly. Namaskaram everyone. We welcome all of you once again for the Yogaveera training. Is my audio clear for all of you? You can indicate it in the chat by typing yes or no. So before we begin the session, a few things to keep in mind, a few guidelines which will help you experience this session in the best possible way. The first and most important thing is ensure that you dedicate the next 90 minutes exclusively for this session. In Isha, whenever we offer any yoga program, we go to a great extent to ensure that we create the right atmosphere. But now, since this training is happening online, it's up to you to ensure that you create a conducive atmosphere around yourself so that you can experience this in the best possible way. So the next 90 minutes, please see to it that you dedicate it exclusively for this session. It will be best if you can switch off or put your mobile phone on silent. If you happen to be watching this session on your mobile phone, please do put it on do not disturb mode so that you don't get interrupted by text messages or phone calls in between the session. Also, ensure that you have sufficient internet data to go through the entire session of 90 minutes. Also, it's best if you do not get up in between to use restroom or to eat or drink anything. So keeping these things in mind, right now if you need a moment to make any necessary arrangements around you so that the next 90 minutes you can sit fully focused on the session, we can take a moment right now. So is everybody ready? Shall we begin? So this year, the 21st June, marks the 8th International Day of Yoga since the time it was declared in 2015. This year is also very special for us because it marks the completion of the historic 100-day-long Save Soil movement, which has been undertaken by Sadhguru as a lone motorcyclist, starting from United Kingdom, going all the way through Europe, Middle East, and now finally in India. Over the last 3 months, he's been riding across through all kinds of terrains and weathers, from the freezing cold temperatures of the snowy Alps to the scorching heat of the Arabian deserts. He's been riding it through all, day and night. And now, in the India, it's the monsoons, through which he's been relentlessly riding through. Over the last 3 months, he has driven more than 25,000 kilometers and done over 500 Save Soil events and countless number of media interactions and one-on-one interviews. This effort by Sadhguru and thousands of volunteers across each country has also given a phenomenal response and result in terms of how this global movement has impacted. In every country, thousands of people from all walks of life have come physically to attend the Save Soil events, and many millions have shown their support over social media platforms. From over 74 nations have currently expressed their support to incorporate the recommendations of the Save Soil policy. And people from all walks of life, whether it's business leaders, celebrities, media houses, everybody has come forward to show their support for the Save Soil movement. This has been an incredible journey. To really capture what has been the impact of a movement like this, it's hard to show in a short video, but we wanted to share one video with you which shows the kind of impact that a movement like this can create. Various world organizations pertaining to the environment have come forward and expressed their concern and support for a movement like this. This is a huge shift in the narrative because till now, whenever we spoke about global issues relating to the environment, ecological issues, it has always been climate change, water scarcity, pollution. Nobody ever spoke about soil extinction. But this has been a huge shift in terms of changing the narrative and setting the priorities right. We would like to share this video with you to see what kind of impact this movement has created.
Save the Soil is a very important movement that we support as UNCCD.
UNESCO would like to join Save the Soil, and we're looking forward to working with you.
We use soil for our nourishment, but we need to give back to restore its organic richness. Our soil needs nourishing.
Soil is fundamental to food crops, biodiversity, and food security. Preserving soil is key to safeguarding sustainable food systems.
Soils are the most valuable thing on earth. They produce most of our food, they stabilize our climate, they capture and hold the drinking water for all of us, and they are the basis for all life. We need to save our soils, and there's a global movement underway to do just that.
Sadhguru, you embarked into a 100-day motorbike journey from London to India, covering 30,000 kilometers across 25 nations. Save Soil campaign, calling on policymakers to make soil regeneration a priority. You're not young anymore. Embarking on such a journey is quite extraordinary.
The global movement led by him addresses the soil crisis by mobilizing people around the entire world.
Large-scale campaigns that really try to speak to a large number of people, across regions, across continents is really, really important.
Very important soil campaign, Living Soil. you tell us if we can support the campaign in any way. Thank you so much.
Great honor to welcome Honorable Sadhguru to United Nations Climate Change. We are from the soil, we go to the soil. We need to do everything to protect it and prevent harm to the soil. So we have to save the soil. Join Sadhguru in his movement. We are all with him.
We really welcome the Save Soil movement, which is very much needed to move to a healthy planet and a healthy life.
Conscious Planet as a fundamental in this process. We are very happy to working together with all of you.
Join hands with Save Soil to deliver safe, better soil for our world is the most wonderful moment. And this partnership that we are going to enter into will really be the difference we need to make.
We need more visionary leaders like Sadhguru to highlight environmental challenges we are facing and act.
And I say I'm personally delighted and personally excited to be here. I've been working on land degradation and restoration for a lot of my career. It's a message of urgency, but it's also a message of hope. And critically, I think it's a message of love. You said that. A way to say I love you is to say save soil. Save soil, let's get going. I think this is really exciting. Thank you very much.
Thank you. MOU to be signed between Isha Foundation and 4,000 Initiative Soils for Food Security and Climate for cooperation in achieving our objective of creating a healthier soil.
The scientists need people like Sadhguru in order to bring the right message to the right people.
We would like to propose to the world to do whatever they can to protect the soil, because it is our future, it is our capital.
So let's play our part by joining Sadhguru in his journey and drawing the world's attention and awareness to the issue of saving our soil. Let us make it happen and reverse the degradation of one of the most important parts of our ecology.
We know what we must do, so let's make it happen.
Save soil, let's make it happen.
Save soil, let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Thank you very much. Let's make it happen.
So it's indeed very encouraging to see these prominent global forums expressing their support for Save Soil. Definitely, if the whole world focuses on the issue of soil degradation, in a matter of few decades, this issue can be addressed and the soil degradation can be reversed. I believe for many of you, since the movement has started from the 21st of March, in some way, all of you have also been involved with the movement. Maybe some of you have also physically participated in the events or volunteered for making these events happen, or some of you would have just expressed your support on the social media. So we would like to hear from you. How has your experience been so far, being part of this movement, watching Sadhguru go through this historic journey, and as it's unfolding, what has your experience been of participating and watching this movement unfold? Some of you can share, any of you can share your experience by posting it on the chat. For many volunteers who have been part of the events after a very long time since the pandemic, the physical events have happened, and just being part of these events and making it happen has been such a tremendous experience for so many volunteers that I know. Vishesh is saying it has been very enriching experience. Maricha is saying she feels proud to be part of it. Ranjan says it's very overwhelming. Subhajit says it's a wonderful experience. Yogendra is saying he saw Sadhguru for the first time because of the movement. Yamuna says it has been a very awesome experience. Shivanshi is saying blessed to be a part of it. Astha says it was wonderful to see Sadhguru, can't express in words, feel blessed. Sakshi is saying cannot believe the countries are getting convinced by Sadhguru. He is feeling like a Superman. We don't know how he's feeling, but we may feel he's a Superman. Yes. Wonderful experience. Blessed to be a part of it, Ruchita says. It's wonderful to see so many of you sharing your experience. Many more of you would have been a part of this moment, but the experience may not be conveyed through a chat message. Any number of volunteers who have been part of this movement so far, it has been truly unbelievable to see the kind of energy, enthusiasm, and dedication that Sadhguru has, and the entire team of volunteers, hundreds of volunteers in each country, to make an event, a movement like this happen on a global scale. The kind of impact that this can generate, I think most of us are not able to fathom right now. But in the coming few months and years, as we see the movement unfolding and the policies taking shape, I think it will be one of the most fulfilling and rewarding experience to have been a part of a global movement like this. But for some of you, if you're still wondering that when a global movement of this scale is happening, what is the use of me, one individual, doing something? Or maybe you're wondering, how can I contribute as an individual person for a movement like this? Now, in the countless number of interviews, conferences, and events that Sadhguru did, people have asked him all kinds of questions. Questions about why a spiritual guru is talking about ecology, or why are we talking about save soil right now? But in one of the conferences, one person asked Sadhguru, what can I do as an individual? Sadhguru, can you tell me 3 things that I can do as an individual to support this global movement? So let's hear from Sadhguru what his response was.
What exactly would you say would be the 3 things we need to do to save soil?
There are 3 things that you can do. Raise your voice to higher pitch, and raise your voice once again to much higher pitch, to scream pitch. Because if you don't scream now, you will be screaming in pain later, or your children will be screaming in pain later. So right now is the time to scream for action. We need to enshrine this in the policy, otherwise there's no real solution.
So the message is clear, isn't it? Is it time to raise the pitch? Yes? Shall we shift gears and take it to the next level? Now, with little over 1 week left for this global movement to come to a culmination, the journey part of it, this is the time for us to reach out to maximum number of people and make them aware. So far, more than 2.5 billion people have spoken about soil. This in itself makes this the largest global movement to have ever happened on this planet. However, we don't want to stop here. We want more than 3.5 billion people to speak in one voice about saving soil, because we are at a cusp of time right now. If we do not do the right things, this degradation may not be possible to be reversed. But if all the nations come together and act in one direction, then definitely we can reverse this soil extension. Now, some of you must be wondering, why am I speaking about save soil or an ecological movement when we are talking about International Day of Yoga? What has Yogaveera training got to do with a global ecological movement? Now, if you've been following Sadhguru through this journey, and if you've been listening to what he's saying in all the major events, you would have seen that these 2 things, individual transformation and working towards a conscious planet, or addressing the global issues and fixing the interiority are not two separate things. We cannot really talk about fixing the ecology on this planet without changing the way we live on this planet. So, why is it that a global movement is needed to bring this experience into people? And why is it that this is going under the brand of Conscious Planet? Why is consciousness so important? Let's hear from Sadhguru as to why we are approaching this as a global movement and what is the need and significance of having human beings, individual human beings who are living more consciously.
This is a fantastic planet, has nurtured not one or two life forms, millions of life forms. The sheer variety of life of animals, birds, plants, insects and worms that we have on this planet is mind-boggling. Our ability to gobble up the resources on the planet is too much. We exploited the land, we exploited the oceans. Our idea of life has become exploitation. From an atom to anything, we are seeing how to exploit. Every creature we have killed, everything needs to be protected. A fierce animal like tiger today needs protection because we have not found any other way, any other vehicle through which we can expand. We are naturally thinking exploiting the physical resource is the only way to expand. Right now, our very economies are built like this, it's all about more and more. This means everybody has to buy more, everybody has to use more. But where is that damn more? We are on a exploitative mode, not by choice, by compulsiveness. The only solution for this is consciousness. When humanity begins to operate out of consciousness, then compulsiveness will not rule us. When compulsiveness does not rule us, we will do just what is needed, nothing more, nothing less. We have to come to that place, otherwise, if they give us another 10 planets that we can live on, we will destroy all that in the next 2 centuries maybe. The only way, the only and only way, the ultimate solution is people start living consciously. It is good human beings who have forgotten that they are only an outcrop of this planet. Human beings who have forgotten that they have just temporarily come out of the womb of this earth and one day they will be sucked back into this earth. For them is a reminder that you are a part of this earth, you have to think like the earth. If humanity has to live for a long time, you have to think like the earth, act like the earth and be the earth, because that is what you are.
So this International Day of Yoga, it's an opportunity for all of us to do our bit to contribute towards crafting a conscious planet. Since the very first year when International Day of Yoga was declared, Sadhguru designed some simple offerings which can be transmitted very effortlessly to large masses of people. Before that, whenever we did programs where we imparted yogic practices, it was always done with a lot of attention and care only in close physical proximity to ensure that it is received in the right way, because yogic practices are not a mere set of instructions or physical postures, but how an individual receives it, in what kind of atmosphere and ambience is it transmitted, is of utmost significance. So to ensure that, it was always done as a physical program. But in order to reach out to larger masses of people, Sadhguru designed some simple practices which are called Upayoga practices. So these are not fully yoga, these are sub-yoga, on the way to yoga. So this is to give a taste to people of what the doing yoga can do to them. Some simple practices which can give them some physical and mental benefits. So what is the vision behind offering these practices And what can we do being a Yogaveera? How can we reach out to as many people as possible? In one of the programs, after conducting inner engineering and initiating the people into Shambhavi Mahamudra, in a very intimate conversation, Sadhguru shared his vision about how each of us, every individual who has been touched by this, can stand up and offer some simple tools to people around us, and what kind of impact it can have if sufficient number of people take this up and offer this to people around them. Let's hear this talk from Sadhguru.
There are many things happening in the world. Every day, if you open the newspapers or watch the news, a whole lot of ugly things happening in the world every day. A lot of us seem to think that we have no role to play in all this. Knowingly or unknowingly, all of us are a part of it. All the ugliest things that are happening, don't think they're just happening, they're all being caused by human beings like you and me. As a part of the solution, this is all the choice we have. We may not be able to set everything right tomorrow morning, but we have a choice, either to be a part of the problem or to be a part of the solution. The first and foremost part of the solution is that I am not a problem in the world. This you must make it happen, yes? You are never the problem, wherever you go. If there are problems that we can solve, we will solve. If we cannot solve, we will sit quietly, but you will not be the problem.
Yes.
As a part of this, we want to produce 1 million people who have some capability to impart something very simple. It's very, very simple. Everything is digitally provided for you. You just have to have the commitment that in 1 year's time, at least to 100 people, you will teach something very simple which takes 12 to 15 minutes for them to practice. It takes an overall of 45 to 50 minutes for you to teach. And you can just pass on that digital information with a little bit of instruction for which we will train you. The training itself takes 2 hours for you to learn. If you learn this in 45 minutes, you can impart it, daily 12 to 15-minute practice in their life, some change. We have to start somewhere. So if 1 million people commit to teach 100 people in 1 year, we have 100 million people, we are becoming a big solution. Yes? Will you make this happen? Will you be a part of this? Please make sure this happens. We must all understand this. Whenever I read European history during World War II and pre-World War II, what happened there, I always wondered, what kind of idiots must have lived in that time? How did they allow this to happen? But in our own time, it's happening. In the last 15 years, over 1 million people are dead, 15–20 million people are homeless, going all over the place. You see these scenes on the news channels, don't think this is some video game. This is real, yes? You see these men dragging their women and children and trying to go here and there, all their homes and towns bombed out. The question is not about whose fault. The question is just this, is this the kind of world we want to create? That's all the question is. Who did it? Who did it? Oh, he did it, not me. That's not the point. Is this the kind of world we want to create? Is this the kind of world we want to leave for our children? That is the question. If you ask this question to yourself, not to somebody, this question must be directed towards you. If you genuinely ask this question, you as a human being naturally have a desire to become a solution, not a problem. Let's become a part of the solution. The simplest way is, people are always trying to transform the world. There is no world, there's only people, you and me. Yes? There's only individual human beings like you and me. Society, world, this, that, these are all just words, there are no such things, they're just people, isn't it? If we are not committed to transforming individual people, If we are not committed to bringing some change in individuals' lives, there is never going to be any change in the world. It'll be just empty talk. Everywhere people are talking about world peace. When people can't sit for 5 minutes peacefully, how can it be? If you don't know how to make your mind peaceful, would you really be competent to make the world peaceful? There are tools. These little girls who's standing there instead of me on the ramp right now, these little girls, what kind of world or what kind of hellhole are we going to push them into? This is yours and mine. Let's make this happen.
So shall we commit ourselves that this International Day of Yoga, we will reach out to at least 100 people and offer them this possibility, some simple tools which can enhance their lives. Now, many of you would have been already initiated into some of the Isha practices, or at least you would have watched the practices online and practiced it for yourself. Have all of you been initiated into at least one practice? Is there anyone here who has not practiced yoga so far or not done any Isha programs? Yes. So what do we need to do right now as part of the reach out for this International Day of Yoga? We will be offering one simple yet effective module called Technologies of Well-being. So as part of this module, there are 3 practices that we will be offering. In this module, for you to offer these practices, we will be sharing with you a Yogaveera kit. Now in this Yogaveera kit, you will have all the resources that you need to offer the sessions online or in person. You just need to ensure that you go to the resource kit and download all the materials on your computer, and then you will be able to offer a International Day of Yoga session to anyone, whether it's online or in person. As part of this kit, we will be sharing some videos which you will be playing in the session. This has certain practice videos and videos by Sadhguru which will orient them about how they can do these practices. In addition to that, you will also receive a script. The script has some talking points which will help you to introduce the practices that we will be teaching them and give them some simple instructions with the help of which they will be able to keep up the practices after the session, after they go through the session. We will be looking at the script in more detail later, and we will see how you can make use of it. Additionally, we also have shared some tech tutorials for you. For those of you who are new to using online platforms to deliver sessions. However, since the pandemic, I think most of us have acquainted ourselves to doing things online. But if there is still someone here who is fairly new to using these platforms to play videos or deliver sessions, you can go through these simple tutorials to understand how you can deliver these sessions. Additionally, we will also be sharing some collaterals which you can make use of to inform your friends, family, and people that you know about the session that you will be offering. We will also look at how you can make use of these promotional materials later. So the module that you are offering, Technologies for Well-being, has 3 practices. The first 2 are Upayoga practices, Yoga Namaskar and Nadi Shuddhi. These are for those of you who may not have practiced it yet. Yoga Namaskar is a very simple process, but it is very impactful in ensuring that you keep the overall health of the spine well. And Nadi Shuddhi is a simple breathing technique that anyone can learn and practice it. So these are two Upayoga practices that you will be offering as part of the Technologies for Wellbeing module. In addition, we will also be offering the Save Soil meditation. Now, this is a meditation specifically designed by Sadhguru as an opportunity for us to experience the connection that we share with Mother Earth. Everything that we are, everything that we consume comes from soil. So this is a 12-minute meditation which gives us an opportunity to experientially experience this and bring a sense of connectedness with the planet on which we live. Considering that we are focusing on spreading more awareness about the Save Soil movement, this would be an appropriate meditation for us to offer as part of the International Day of Yoga Reach Out. In addition, for those of you who have done the inner engineering program, you can also speak about this possibility of doing the program online. We'll be sharing some points that you can make use of to speak about inner engineering. And finally, we'll be closing the session by introducing them to the Save Soil movement. Now, this module can vary from a 1-hour module to a 45 minutes module, and we look at it how you can make some changes to it based on the amount of time commitment you have from the audience. So if there are some corporates where you're not able to make a 1-hour session, you can modify a few things and offer a 45-minute session as well. We'll look at that in more details later. So as we are approaching the International Day of Yoga, how can you reach out to ensure that you offer this possibility to maximum people? For those of you who are working professionals, definitely you can reach out to the companies, the company where you're working, where your friends and family are working. Offering these sessions to these corporates, you can make use of the modules, and we also shared some collaterals with which you can share about what is the module about, and this can give them more information of how they can participate in these sessions. Additionally, you can also reach out to schools, colleges, your own society, or your family and friends if they have not yet been introduced to the yoga practices that you do. Now let's look at how you can access the Yogaveera kit. Now the Yogaveera kit will be shared to you as a Google Drive link. You can go to the link and Is it audible now? If it's audible, you can mention it in the chat box. Okay. So we are looking at the videos. For those of you who missed it, I'll just quickly recap. So in the practice videos, the session videos, you have two videos. Can we look at that once more? So if you go to the first folder, which is session videos, you will see there are 5 videos. The first video is just an introduction which you play before we introduce them to the practices. And after that, the second video has the first 2 Upayoga practices, which is Yoga Namaskar and Nadi Shuddhi together. So as part of this video, the participants will be learning the practice first and also practicing it with guided instructions. So as they go through the video, they will learn as well as practice both Yoga Namaskar and Nadi Shuddhi. So we don't need to instruct them separately about the practice. We just have to give them some simple instructions as to how they can keep up these practices. Then the third video is Safe Soil Meditation. Even in this video, Sadhguru first introduces the meditation, speaks about the significance of it and how we can make use of it, and then it's a guided meditation. So these are the videos we can play to teach them the practices. In addition, we can also speak about Save Soil, and there is one short video which gives them the intro to what the Save Soil movement is. So as we looked at it, there are 2 versions for this module. If there is a situation where you have to offer the module for a 45-minute duration, then there is a variation video available which you can make use of, which doesn't have Nadi Shuddhi. Now, we've also shared the Yogaveera script with you. So this script gives you the structure for the module that you are offering. It also gives you the detailed breakdown of how much time it will take for you to conduct the session. So as you go through the script, it's important that you practice it well first before you actually conduct the sessions, so that you are clear about what instructions need to be given at which stage. Especially if you're doing the session online, it's all the more important that you give the instructions precisely so that the participants who are going through the session understand it well. And because we are not able to observe how the participants are doing the practice, it's important that all the guidelines are clearly shared. For those who wish for them to keep up the practices later, it's always all the practices that we are offering is available on the Sadhguru app as well as on the YouTube channel. So you can share the links and details with them so that they can keep up the practices after the session as well. As we looked at it, for those of you who need to make use of the tech tutorials, there's also a couple of videos which are shared for you to get acquainted with Zoom and Google Meet. Coming to the promotional materials, whenever you plan a session, you can always make use of these collaterals to spread more awareness about a session like this. So let's say you just want to offer the International Day of Yoga session for all your family and friends. There are various templates here which you can make use of to fill in the details. It already has pre-filled details about certain aspects, but you can change the session link and add a few details about when and which platform you're doing the session on. And you can use these flyers to post on your social media handles where other people who know you can find out about the session and come and join your session. And even if you are conducting it for other institutes and organizations, you can download these templates, edit them, include the necessary information and share it with them so that they can circulate it in their companies and within their organization to spread the message about the session. So far, whatever content we've looked at, is it clear for all of you what is the module and what practices we are offering? Are there any questions related to the technologies for well-being module? We can look at it right now. We have some time. Also, for those of you who will be offering a session like this for the first time online, it will be very supportive if you can find a Yogaveera buddy, someone whom you know who's also gone through the training, who can support you. And if you can practice with just one more person before you do a session like this, going over the script, going over the entire session flow, playing the videos, you will find that it becomes extremely effortless and very smooth when you go for an actual session. Because when you are doing the session online, some very simple things which you may not have planned for beforehand can cause a lot of issues in between. And if you're not well acquainted with the material, you may find it even more difficult to do the session online. So Arnab is asking, will we get this in all the languages? So Arnab, so far the module has been structured only in English, but we'll try our best to share more languages. So whichever languages get updated, you'll find it in the Yogaveera kit. So we'll just add more folders with language specific content, and as they get added, you can make use of them. Rohit is asking, can we offer any other meditation as part of this module? So Rohit, as we've been just looking at this, since on this International Day of Yoga, we are focusing on bringing more awareness about the Safe Soil campaign, it will be wonderful if we can offer the Safe Soil meditation, which will also help those who are participating to connect with the movement and show their support. So Sanjay is asking, are there any prerequisites for the participants? Anybody can participate, Sanjay. If you know these practices, Yoga Namaskar and Nadi Shuddhi are fairly simple practices. Anyone who has a serious back injury or condition of their knees, then it may be difficult for them to practice Yoga Namaskar because it is a practice which you do sitting in a squatting posture. However, it doesn't stop them from attending this session. They can participate and do it to the best extent they can. So there are no prerequisites. The only condition is they should be willing to sit through the entire session and receive some simple instructions. Kavita is asking, is laptop mandatory to conduct a session like this? So Kavita, since we are playing videos as part of the session, doing it on a mobile phone may not be the ideal way. I am not sure if you can play the videos well on a mobile phone. There may be a certain lag, or it may not be delivered in optimal quality for the people who are attending the session. So it's best if you can organize a laptop to offer the session. Ankit is asking, do participants need to be on empty stomach to do this practice? It's ideal, Ankit. So because they're doing these practices, light stomach condition is recommended, but it would be ideal if they can be on empty stomach. However, just as a precaution, before you offer these practices, you can inform them about these conditions. So even when you announce the session, if possible, you can mention that it's ideal to be in light stomach or empty stomach condition. But even if it so happens that someone is attending the session and they are not on empty stomach, they can still go through the practices, at least receive the instructions and practice it later. Anirudh is asking how to download the Yogaveera kit. So we'll be sharing the link to this kit right now in chat. You can save the link and then access the resources on the Google Drive. So we'll be posting the link right now. So as I was sharing, before you conduct your first session, doing some little bit of practice will go a long way in ensuring that you not only do the session without any technical glitches, but also enjoy the whole process of conducting a session like this. For many volunteers who have offered sessions like this previously, it has been a very enriching experience for them, going through this whole process of not just learning the practice themselves, but learning how to offer it to others. It takes a different level of application and commitment to offer this to someone else. In the last 2 years especially, with the pandemic, the focus was entirely on offering practices which boost immunity and improve the respiratory health. So thousands of Yogaveera across all cities in India came forward and offered these simple practices to boost immunity. And just looking at how they went through this whole process of getting trained, learning these practices themselves, and then practicing how to offer it to others, and finally offering it to people, it was really touching to see how a simple process of offering these practices online can transform individual. We would like to share a short video of sharings by some of the Yogaveeras from Mumbai from last year. What was their experience of offering a session like this?
When Sadhguru addressed us for COVID times during the second peak, he talked about many things and how we should be part of the solution and not the problem.
The significance of yoga, the yogic practices in the world will go up significantly. So online we will be offering Yogaveera training processes. Please go through this. I want thousands of you or hundreds and thousands of you to go through this and make sure it is offered to as many people as possible.
It is the first time for me ever volunteering for an activity like that.
जब मैंने ट्रेनिंग किया तो थोड़ा मुझे लग रहा था कि शायद मैं कर पाऊँ या ना कर पाऊँ.
There were many things running in my mind. I kept all of them aside and I just threw myself for this activity.
All the way I just realized that we just have to be willing enough. Rest everything is already taken care of.
I distinctly remember when I first got the call for conducting such a session and the Akka asked if I was prepared. I said that I knew the technicalities, but I was just 80% there. I didn't feel too confident. Then Akka just simply said, if we help you with the other 20%, will you do it? And immediately an enthusiastic yes came from my side. And I realized I didn't have to feel alone. And I just had to do my best and it would find a way of becoming 100%.
If you're able to offer tools for transformation, and when that transformation happens within that person, this offering is of the highest order because this will take that person through life and beyond.
हम एक प्रोग्राम भेंट कर रहे हैं। कभी पार्टिसिपेंट को मैं नहीं जानता था कि पार्टिसिपेंट कौन है, क्या है, लेकिन अनुभव में ऐसा रहता था कि मैं अपने आप को ही बता रहा हूँ।
I could say volunteering has been nurturing me. The preparation, the guidance and support for conducting a session was so much that even with all my other work, I have been able to do it wonderfully.
Conducting a session is such a intense, beautifully intense, and some kind of magical thing, because you see people in just 30 minutes they get transformed.
Hearing those employees speak, sharing their experiences with us was such a beautiful and amazing experience.
मुझे लगता है कि मैं तो बैक सीट पे बैठा हूँ, केवल सदगुरु ही सब कुछ करा रहे हैं और बैठ के आनंद ले रहा हूँ।
This is what volunteering does to us. It can make us ecstatic, blissful while sitting at our own space. We had no clue what Sadhguru is doing, what Sadhguru is offering, but these are very important tools for our growth.
I want you to have the power, the privilege and the responsibility of making that happen. This is my wish and my blessing. Please allow this to happen to yourself and everybody around you.
So for most of these volunteers, it was the first time that they conducted a session online, and in spite of all the challenges that came their way in terms of the technical challenges, or whether it's within themselves in terms of dropping their inhibition and hesitation and going on camera and talking to people, as they went through this whole process, I think you all can see how they've experienced this. So this is an opportunity and possibility for all of you to reach out and offer these simple yet powerful and very effective practices to people around you. Now, in order to give you a demo of how you can prepare and practice for this session, we have one volunteer who's already gone through the training, and she would like to demonstrate of how she will be conducting a session. So let's see how the volunteer does. I want you to pay attention and see, and then you can let us know how the session went. So let's watch the volunteer doing the demo of the Technologies for Wellbeing module.
Namaskaram all. Welcome to Isha Upayoga Practices. I'll be your teacher for today, and it's so exciting to do these classes. I'm just a bit nervous and excited, and yeah. So before we start the class, please make sure that you don't drink water during the class or go to the washroom, as we will be creating a lot of energy and aura around you, so we don't want all of that to get messed up. So whenever you guys are ready, let's start the class. Hi Jean, I'll see you after the class. So it's shall we start the practices, guys? Okay, so we'll start with the neck practices. So for the neck practices, you can see me, we'll see a video. You can also see me, I'll be doing the practice together. It's a very relaxing practice, so let's do it together. So it was so good. Like, there was so much tension around my shoulders, and I felt so relaxed doing this practice. And every time I do this practice, I feel a different sort of an energy moving around or within me. So it feels really nice to do the neck practices. The next practice that we will be doing is just 1 second. So the next practice that we will be doing is the arm chanting. So for arm chanting, what we'll be doing is you can keep your hands like this. So you can keep your hands like this and you can sing along with me. Just 1 second. Hello? Yeah. Yes, Susie. It's my first yoga class. Yeah, very excited. So yeah, I'll call you back. Bye. Sorry guys, I had to pick that call up. It was my sister. So where were we? Yeah, so we were doing the arm chanting. So put your hands like this, just casual and relaxed and chill, and just sing along with me, okay? It's a very powerful practice, as I told you before. I actually felt my, Kundalini rise when I did this practice, and it opens up your chakras. Your energy starts to flow everywhere, like your prana. It's all channelized, and it just feels like, the chakras opening up, your Kundalini rising up. So it feels like really it's a different sort of energy. So we have had a few people ask us a few questions. So let's look into those questions now. So the first question is, people are asking if I can teach this to my friends and family. Yes, of course. So I'm going to meet a friend for a coffee right after the session, and I'll be teaching her a few asanas at the nearest coffee shop. And yeah, so you can teach your families and friends, and they can learn from you, and you can exchange notes, and it's a really nice way to spread the message of yoga. So yeah, you can teach them, and feel free to do that. The other people are asking, like there are some people who are asking if we can do the asanas and the yoga practices that we did today. Can we do it on chair or bed? So yeah, because these are very easy peasy practices. So you can do them on the bed, you can do them on the chair, and you can be relaxed, and they're very breezy. So you can just do it nicely, relaxed and stuff. So guys, we're coming to the end of our session, and it's absolutely amazing, and I feel so great, and it's been so amazing to be a part of the classes with you all. So do join in again for the next session, and we'll keep you updated. Namaskara.
So how did you feel looking at the way this session was offered? Were you able to focus on the instructions, or what will you be able to focus on what practice is being offered if somebody is offering it like this? I think some of you are feeling that this is too much of an exaggeration, but it's important for us to keep in mind that these are the things we should not be doing when we offer the session. So can you point out a few things that Akka should not have done when she was conducting the session? Whatever responses you have, you can put it in the chat. Pallav is saying, whatever you do, don't act like this ever. Okay, Pallav. Can you share anything specific that you noticed that could have been avoided when she was doing the session? Can we look at the chat? Okay, the responses are flooding in. So Pranav is saying phone call could have been avoided. We should not use phone. Definitely, when we are asking the participants to avoid using phone, that's one thing we should not be doing. And it's not just about taking a call, but even if you have phone by the side, and if a message comes or it rings, even on silent, and if it distracts you, it's a disturbance for the participants. So it's very important to ensure that the phone doesn't ring or vibrate in between the session, which could disturb or distract you. Then drinking coffee during the session. Once again, it's a distraction for the participants from the instructions that you're giving them. So ensuring that there's no food or beverage around you when you're offering the session. Even for you to be in a certain way within yourself when you're offering the session, it's best that you do not eat or drink in between the session. Even in terms of the attire, I think wearing something that doesn't become a distraction or which doesn't draw attention towards what you're wearing is important, so that the focus of the participants is entirely on the instructions that you're giving. Mm-hmm. So some of you are saying everything that she did could have been avoided. Also, in terms of sharing the experience of the practice, it's important that we stick to the script and the instructions that are given in the script. You could definitely share your experience of doing the practice, which can encourage the participants to incorporate it in their own lives. However, we need to ensure that it's pertaining to your own experience, and it should not, we need not speak about things which are not in our experience or understanding fully. As far as the practices are concerned and the impact and the significance of the practices are concerned, there is no need for us to try to attempt to describe or define what these practices will do. We just need to give them some simple instructions, and whatever is needed for them to understand in terms of the significance of the practice, Sadhguru will be anyway covering it in the videos that we'll be sharing with them. She was also demonstrating the practice. Once again, demonstrating it, especially on an online session, one thing is you will not be able to do the demonstration properly, and the second thing is all the instructions along with the demonstration is already part of the video. So even if any participants come up with some questions asking you how to do this practice, you can refer them back to the video that you will be sharing with them, and they can always watch the practice again to understand how to do the practice. Okay. Suchi is also saying that there was no involvement. So that's the most important factor in how you experience the session and how the participants receive the practice. So definitely, if the practices that you've learned means something to you, if it has impacted your life, how you offer it will be of utmost significance when you're doing a session like this. So within yourself, taking the necessary time to prepare for this session, ensuring that you're clear about what are the instructions to be given, and doing it with a certain commitment and focus, you will see that the experience of participants of going through a session like this can be phenomenally different. You could be offering the same simple practices with the level of involvement and focus that you offered it, they may be inspired to incorporate this practice and make it a part of their lives. So Sakshi is asking, will they be doing the practice during the class? Yes, Sakshi, as we looked at it, all the practices, including Yoga Namaskar, Nadi Shuddhi, and the Safe Soil meditation, are not only instructed but also guided. So first they are instructed to learn the Yoga Namaskar practice, and then there is the guided instructions for Yoga Namaskar where participants will do the practice, and similarly for Nadi Shuddhi where they'll be given some time to practice Nadi Shuddhi on their own after they learn it. So as part of the video there is some time where they practice the Nadi Shuddhi as well, and same goes for the Save Soil meditation. So Hina is asking if these practices can also be offered offline. Yes, Hina. So once you download these practice videos, you can also do this session as a physical in-person session and offer these practices. So if you're offering these sessions in an office, what would be the best timing? So Tangamji, I think you can, it need not be a specific time of the day. If it's possible to do the practice in the morning when they come or evening before they leave, that would be the ideal time so that they are not preoccupied with what they have to do. However, depending on the meal timings there, if you can give instructions to the Patamak condition for the session, depending on whichever time is most convenient for the place where you are working or going to offer the session, you can fix a time. So Kavita is asking, first we have to get trained to give the training to other people to impart these practices. So Kavita, have you learned these practices before? Have you done any of these practices? If not, the first thing you can do is go through these practice videos and learn the practice for yourself and start doing the practice. Once you start this, you will see that offering these practices to others doesn't need a great training. Whatever instructions are needed to offer these practices are already incorporated in the video. And the Yogaveera kit that we have shared with you, which we just looked at, if you just go through that kit thoroughly, you can get acquainted as to how to offer this session. The only thing you need to practice before you offer a session like this is the Yogaveera script. We can look at it once more right now, and I can take you through the script as to how you can prepare to offer this session. So ensure that you're clear about the structure of the session. So once you start the session, you are not confused as to which video to play next. What is the next practice they'll do? When do you play Sadhguru's video explaining them about the significance? So you can go through the structure completely once and understand how much time each section of the module takes. And after that, also spend some time going through the entire script. The script includes some basic announcements which will give them guidelines as to how they can participate in the session. And for every practice that we are teaching, there are some simple instructions that you give them before you introduce the practice, which will ensure that they receive the practices well. And after you impart the practices to them, then there is some time. If you have gone through the inner engineering program, it will be wonderful if you can also share about this possibility that they can do the program online or in person at the Isha Yoga Center. And given that we are focusing on the Save Soil movement, you can also, we have given you some talking points. It's not entirely necessary that you say the exact same thing. These are recommended points. You can go through it once and share to the best way, in the best way you can, about the movement. So the preparation for this could take just a few hours for you. If you just spend a few hours of focused time going through this script and looking at the videos, you will understand how to offer this session. And if you need further support after this session, right now we'll be sharing a form with you please ensure that you fill this form. Once all of you fill the form, we will be sharing it with volunteers in your local cities. So they will be reaching out to you, and any support that you need in terms of either practicing for the session or rehearsing it with another buddy so that you are comfortable offering these sessions, we can see how to support you with that. So in addition to being well prepared to offer a session like this, what is more significant is how we are within ourselves. Because as Sadhguru was mentioning, this is not just about giving a mere physical practice to people, but this is a possibility and an opportunity to give them a taste of something that if they incorporate it in their lives, it can truly transform their lives. No matter how simple a practice is, if anyone does it with a certain dedication and commitment, definitely it will bring a lasting transformation in their lives. So when a privilege like this is placed in our hands, how we are within ourselves when we offer a possibility like this is of utmost significance. Let's hear Sadhguru. In one of the Ishanga's meet, he, in a very intimate sharing, he spoke to us about how we need to be when we offer a possibility that can transform people's lives. We'll look at this now.
When something is placed in your hands, which is far more profound than you're right now able to grasp or understand. That which is more profound than yourself, that is that which is more profound than anything that you can grasp or understand. When such a thing is placed in your hands, it's important that you keep yourself in a certain way. When I say a certain way, I think enough has been said. But the most important thing is you remain in this grace. If you have to offer something to people that you yourself do not know, you must stay in grace. That's the most important thing. If you have to become an instrument to deliver dimensions which you yourself have not experienced or known. Many of you have been through the engineering programs. The teachers who stand there, many times, almost every time, they see people experiencing things that they themselves do not know what. So when such a privilege comes your way, that you can transmit something that you yourself are incapable of knowing or understanding, when something far bigger than you is happening through you, you must remain in grace. It's very, very, very important. If you maintain this much, at any time, when you utter the word yoga, who is in front of you is always more important than yourself. Just fix this one thing, I'm always with you. Just fix this one thing. The moment you say yoga, from that moment, who is sitting in front of you right now is a more important life than yourself. If you hold this much, rest I will take care. If you if you go into the world without access to grace, slowly yoga will transform itself into circus. You may not think so, but it will happen gradually. It has happened to any number of teachers. Particularly if you are going into the West, Europe or America and teaching, it's extremely important that you maintain this fundamental discipline within yourself. The moment you say yoga, the subject is far more important than yourself. This life is paramount, not this. Just a simple thing like this, if you maintain. This is called upasana. Upasana means you have taken a sub-seat in your own life. You are not sitting on the main seat. You take the side seat in your own life, within yourself. And this will take care of everything. Just now we were uttering a stanza, satsangatvene sangatvam. What this means is, satsang means people coming together in pursuit of truth. In this pursuit of truth, there should be nissang. That means you never make friendships, you never form relationships, you never form any kind of personal thing. Learning to give yourself totally to a person who doesn't mean a damn thing to you, this is what you need to learn. You understand? Oh, this person is mine, so I will be like this. This is not yoga, you lost it. This person has nothing to do with me and doesn't mean a damn thing to me, but I'm willing to give myself absolutely. This is what you need to learn. Satsangam is nissangam, always. Nissangam means it's a relationship of truth, but it's not a relationship. Never form relationships with people whom you instruct, any kind. No, I feel like a brother, I'll feel like a sister, I feel like this, nothing. Just learning to give yourself absolutely to someone who is nothing to you. This you must learn. Someone who is something to you, that's a prejudice, that's not yoga. Once you divide the world, what is mine and what is not mine, you will never know yoga, you can only bend and twist. Because yoga means an absolute union with everything. So this is mine, that is not mine, it's over. You set it up, a self-defeating process you have set up, you will never grow. If you say, this is mine, that is not mine. Just look at everything. Anything or anybody to whom you transmit something, with them, absolutely no relationship of any kind, but you're willing to give yourself absolutely. You understand what I'm saying? If you just bring this, you will progress, otherwise you have set up a self-defeating process. You want to unite, but you have divided the world within yourself. This is a silly way of going about life, people are going on like this endlessly. Please make this happen for yourself. This is far more important to yourself and to the world than you realize right now.
So it's been wonderful to have all of you join us today for this Yogaveera training. For those of you who feel you need more support before you can start offering this to others, please get in touch with your local volunteers. They'll be more than willing and happy to help you with the necessary preparation that you need to do before you can conduct a session like this. Our volunteers will be sharing a form right now. Please fill that so we know that you attended this session and we can send you the necessary communication and put you in touch with the local volunteers in your city. Please please take a couple of minutes to fill this form. Hope all of you have filled the form. If you have not yet filled the form, you can do it at the end of the session. Some of you were asking, now when can you plan for this session and when can you conduct this? So it's just a week more before we reach the International Day of Yoga. It's not necessary though, but for a lot of people, they become curious and interested about learning some new yogic practice around this day. So you can make use of this increased enthusiasm and offer them on the International Day of Yoga itself. You can conduct these sessions before the International Day of Yoga, from the time you're prepared and ready to offer these sessions. And we need not stop with the International Day of Yoga. Offering these practices can continue even well beyond the 21st of June. So there are no restrictions on till when you can conduct these sessions. And definitely as we progress, if all of you show enough enthusiasm, we can share more modules with you, with which you can reach out to more people and offer some tools of transformation for them. And as we said, it'll be wonderful if you can get in touch with your local volunteers and see how all of you can come together to offer this to many more people in and around your cities. So once again, it was wonderful to have all of you join this training today. We hope you were able to make best use of it, and whatever materials have been shared, please spend some time going through it, and we hope you're able to offer this to as many people as possible in and around you. Thank you once again for joining this session. Namaskaram.
The most intimate of the physicality in the existence is your body. And this body is just a piece of earth. You're just a small outcrop of this earth. Right now you're an outcrop who prances around. After some time, you will become a small mound.
You may believe many fancy things about yourself, but that's not the reality.
Somehow, this fundamental thing that we are just a small outcrop of the soil on which you're sitting right now is forgotten, generally till we are buried.
If you want to live sensibly, you should have contact with the earth that you live on.
Today, because we have lost this contact, in certain ways, it gets disorganized. This disorganization can lead to disease and weakness and ultimately destabilization of the system itself.
हो जा कोटि कहे